Welcome to Coaching for Creatives with Kirsten. My name is Kirsten Call. I'm a therapist-trained life coach and a children's book author. Together, we'll get the drama out of our lives and onto the page. Let's get started. You are listening to episode 110, When You're Stubborn. In 2 days, my daughter Sophia is turning 17 years old. I will never forget when she was about 12 months old, and I knew she was capable of walking. She just wasn't doing it. So I put her down and walked a few feet away and said, "Come on, Sophia, I know you can walk." You know how parents do, where you crouch down and you put your arms out, ready for your child to take a few steps towards you. I said, "Come on, you can do it." And then she looked me right in the eyes, and I'm telling you, her dark brown eyes were flinty. She looked me right in the eyes, turned around, and walked 13 steps in the opposite direction. She walked 13 steps away from me, sat down, and didn't walk again for 3 months. It was as if she was daring me to make assumptions about what she could and couldn't do, and that she would only do things in her time when she was ready. I was flummoxed and also in awe. I remember thinking, whoa, if this is how she is as a baby, what's she going to be like as a teenager? Well, it turns out she's delightful and as stubborn as ever. Being stubborn has pros and cons. A stubborn person has tenacity and perseverance and an ability to keep going when the going gets tough. These are essential qualities in life. But if we're stubborn in the wrong ways and focus our tenacity in ways that stop us from learning and progressing, our stubborn tendencies can swallow us up and make us feel stuck. I live in a house surrounded by stubborn people, and I possibly might actually have a little stubborn streak myself. So I have some experience with being stubborn to my own detriment. Here are some ways to recognize when we are resisting something good or being stubborn to our own detriment. Number 1, you notice yourself insisting you're right all the time. And maybe you are right. But something I tell my kids and myself all the time is, it's more important to be kind than it is to be right. It's nice to be right. But would you rather be right and all alone or be kind and have loved ones surrounding you? Also, there is always more than one way to be right. So remind yourself of this if you find yourself perseverating on being right about something, especially in a relationship you want to keep and nurture. Number 2, you notice yourself defending a position you're not even sure you believe anymore. This is when you need to stop and allow yourself to be wrong. Give yourself permission to change your mind. Number 3, you notice you don't want to change your mind. The only way to learn is to be open to other people's points of view and be willing to learn from them. This is part of a growth mindset, one that helps us grow and become better as time moves on. Number 4, you notice you're rigid or inflexible. Do you have to do things a certain way? Is it hard for you when plans are changed? Pay attention to when you really dig in your heels. Stubbornness doesn't always have to have big consequences. It's okay to be really particular about what you eat. But sometimes it can have big consequences, like a coworker not wanting to work on a project with you because you aren't a team player. Sometimes being stubborn can look like self-sabotage, like refusing to wear sunscreen because someone told you to do it. Number 5, you feel anxious. Anxiety precedes stubbornness much of the time. Anxiety causes us to try to control everything around us in a way that isn't even possible. Sometimes anxiety makes stubbornness feel self-protective. Number 6, you feel perfectionistic. Again, perfectionists many times want things done in a certain way at a certain time. You might be missing out on some creative ways to approach the project because you are so stuck on what you think is best. Number 7, someone tells you you're being stubborn. The last thing a stubborn person wants to hear is that they are being stubborn. But if someone says it to you, it's most likely true. So here are some ways to open up your mind and loosen your stubborn tendencies. Number 1, remind yourself there is more than one way to be right. I know I already said this, but it's very important. If you find yourself insisting you're right, stop. Really pay attention to how this is affecting your relationship in that very moment. And even if you feel right, stop insisting. Number 2, humble yourself. Admit you might not have all the answers. Many times when we're stubborn, it's just because we're full of pride. Number 3, allow yourself to be wrong. Give yourself permission to be a human and make human mistakes. Number 4, open your mind to the possibilities, because the possibilities are endless if you allow yourself to see them. Number 5, listen to others. Your friends and loved ones and colleagues have wisdom you can learn from if you allow it. Knowing when to be stubborn and when to stop being stubborn is a skill. So if you find yourself being stubborn at the wrong times, we need to appreciate those times. Our stubborn streaks help us with grit, determination, and perseverance, right? But if you find yourself being stubborn at the wrong times, stop and take a breath. You are more than your stubbornness. Let go of any self-protection or self-sabotage that your stubborn thoughts and actions give you. It's counterfeit protection and does the opposite of what you want. Open your mind. Give yourself permission to listen. Soften your expectations of yourself. Allow other people's thoughts and ideas to permeate through you. If you're going to be stubborn, stubbornly believe that you are an exquisite, unique human being with the power to change your life, one stubborn step at a time. Until next time, keep smiling. If you like what you've heard, check out my Get Yourself Unstuck program. Go to KirstenCall.com. That's KirstenCall.com and schedule a free consultation today. Coaching for Creatives is produced by Kirsten Call. Music and audio engineering by James Call.